Back in 1936, a visionary named Frank Swift saw potential in Maine's old cargo schooners and transformed them into something entirely new: passenger windjammers. His idea was simple but revolutionary. Let everyday people experience life under sail, not as cargo or crew, but as paying guests, chasing adventure. Nearly a century later, that dream is still alive. The fleet has changed, the schooners have been restored and reimagined, but the heartbeat remains the same. Canvas overhead, salt spray on the bow, and a chance to step into history while writing your own story at sea. Windjammers, what are they? What does it mean? But the historical meaning for a windjammer, these were the last age of sail. These were the big commercial sailing ships, and this was right at about the time that wind was falling out of favor for steam. So a windjammer technically is a large sailing vessel. It was actually used as a derogatory term by the crews that ran steamships. It's like, oh, look at these, these windjammers out here. They're still using wind to get around. Bunch of fools. So it was a derogatory term in the industry at that time, and now it's more of the term of the cottage industry, of these old, late 1800s, early 1900s. Big, tall sailing ships that take passengers out for multi-day cruises. So, really, the term windjammer now is a term of affection and endearment, and describes a whole industry. Small industry, but I think one that is definitely worth keeping around. It's living history, and we both love that. While Ladona has its own internal engine, it's got auxiliary power. Some of the other windjammers here do not. They still do not have engines, so they have their own little tug, for lack of a better term, that they bring along with them to get them on and off the dock and places. But for the most part, a lot of the windjammers are still just wind power only. It's pretty cool.
So here we are, JR. He's our captain of Ladona.
Yeah.
And you're going to show us around. What do we have?
Welcome aboard, you guys. This is our 1922 ocean racing yacht, Schooner Ladona. And we did a pretty comprehensive restoration between 2014 and 2016. It's our 10th operating season, so we've been at it for a while. Here we are 10 years later, so I guess we're looking back. And here in my right hand is a teak butterfly hatch that we incorporated into the design. And we have this bronze, custom fabricated bronze ventilator here to allow a lot of ample air to go down in the galley where it's hot. And it has opaque safety glass on the top, and that allows lots of light to go below decks.
Nice.
And all of these things contribute to how much light can get below in the galley. And when we go down there, hopefully you'll feel the effect of that. But hopefully our passengers feel like that they have ample ventilation down there, and that they're not sequestered in a very dark, cloistered space. You want to see the steering station?
Totally.
All right, let's come back here.
It's a steering station, not a helm.
Oh, it's definitely the helm. It probably goes by a lot of different names, but I call it the steering station since we hang out here a lot. When we did the restoration, we needed a new helm or steering wheel for the boat. And we picked a brass one that was available from the Lunenburg foundry in Nova Scotia. It's not like they have a shelf full of these, so if you want something special like this, they have all original casting patterns from the early 20th century Canadian fishing fleet still in their inventory, and you can request special custom castings from them. So when we called them, they said we could do it. It'll take about a year. I said, well, let's get started because the schooner restoration will take at least that long. And this is a metal wheel. That's a workboat style wheel. Originally she had a mahogany steering wheel, as is customary for yachts.
But you decided against mahogany.
Yeah, well, when you're there, one thing about them is they're a little more fragile than a metal wheel. And all the workboats, the fishing schooners, the American Canadian fleet had metal wheels just to be sturdier at sea. And if they got struck by something, they wouldn't obliterate into splinters.
Great.
This is our compass. In this little binnacle here, we put the binnacle onto the side of the cabin trunk so that it was in a very, hopefully, ergonomic place. And when there's fog or dark, We can illuminate the compass from below. It has a crystal both on the top and bottom, so it could be illuminated from below at nighttime. So I got this little bronze shifter on eBay. Originally it was for a 1920s era Chris Craft lake boat, but we adapted it to be our transmission, reverse, neutral, forward, and a throttle on this side. Originally it was a spark adjuster for a gasoline speedboat engine, and it was the throttle and timing adjustment. You could time them on the fly, but we adapted it to this to give the boat kind of more a vintage look. This is a shock absorber for the main boom sheet. And back in the early century, all the fishing schooners had something like this because they had oversized main booms. And if they were in a seaway out fishing in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, a jibe could be catastrophic. So they came up with this invention that would cushion the impact of a jibe, especially if you're rolling in a swell. That can actually engender a jibe. And they were called Edson patent jibers, and they had vulcanized rubber cushions in the middle of them as the shock absorber. And this one here is a modern interpretation of that type of device.
Okay.
And this was designed by a guy named Pete Langley at the Port Townsend Foundry in Washington, state of Washington.
Okay.
It's a really cool way to make the main boom safer. This is our day bed where passengers can sleep at night as an alternative to being below decks. If you do choose to sleep up here, you get great stargazing because you're looking straight into the night sky. So this is a complete queen size bed alternative to cloistered below deck spaces. That thing must be
You're beautiful.
We have an on-deck tool locker. Don't look in there, it's messy.
It's all tool lockers.
But I've worked on boats in the past where we had all the tools down in a little compartment behind a companionway ladder, under this, under that.
Can never get to them.
Yes, all you need is a screwdriver, right? And you have to take a whole ladder out. So I was like, we're building it into the deck structure. If you need a simple tool, you just get it right here.
That's experience talking.
Yes. These are forward-facing scuttles I designed into the layout so that it would capture any breeze going this direction, cascade below decks. This is our deck table. The legs are made out of bronze cast stanchions from a 1930s Elco powerboat. So the table's all modular, 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. We can add on to it right here. They affix to each other and right to the deck there so we can seat everybody together for dinner. A ship's bell. I don't know how old that is, but it's really the only nice piece of hardware we got when we restored the boat. This ship's bell we used to announce meal times mostly. I think historically they use it for a number of other signals like anchors at the surface or things like that. But these days that governs all our eating habits on board.
Very important bell.
All right, this is our starboard or working anchor, as we say, the one we use, our daily driver for an anchor. It's about 400 pounds, maybe a little more, and it's new old stock. It's a vintage anchor that never got used historically for some reason, and it is great. It is iron, and it is made out of forged welded castings. We have a powered windlass. This
No, I don't think they had a lot of powered windlasses back then.
Well, this boat did. As a yacht, it was fancy.
Oh.
And you can imagine genteel people aboard the yacht not really wanting to lift a finger. So they had some very state-of-the-art things on Ladona in 1922. And the gypsies, they only turn one direction, which is like that. But you don't really need, it turns out you don't need too much more. Because when we anchor, the way we deploy the chain is we flake it out on the deck and just let it run out through gravity, through the hose pipe. And as dramatic as it is, it's quite efficient. When World War II came around, our country was facing a dire situation, which is being attacked by submarines right where the public could see it, close inshore on the eastern seaboard. And that's very demoralizing for the public. So the government felt it had to take action. And what they did was to try to put together a giant fleet of patrol boats. Ladona was one that got called upon. They said to the owners, the government needs to appropriate this boat for the security of the country. And they approached hundreds, if not thousands, of owners of yachts. And for $1 in consideration, the boat was transacted and handed over to the government.
Wow.
Effectively surrendered. But after the war, the fact that it was a sailboat became less relevant, really, and the hulls were still had some service life in them. And in that case, they just converted them into pure motorboats.
Huh.
And they felt that the bowsprit was superfluous, so a lot of times they would just cut them right off. And you could tell which ones were historic sailboats because you could see the vestigial bowsprit on the bow of the boat. And that was, I think, the case with Ladona.
So they never went back to the owners that they bought them from.
I'm not sure they ever did. I think once the government owned it, they auctioned off the surplus.
Yeah.
After the war, they had thousands of extra vessels. So
Ladona became an oyster dragger. Or a scallop dragger.
Exactly right. She worked out of Stonington, Connecticut, all through the 50s and 60s as a power boat.
So what defines a schooner? It's the mast layouts. You have the main mast and the foremast, and then it's the head sail geometry dependent on that, or?
No, you're right. It is the mast for the most part. A schooner is a boat where what we call a fore and aft rig. So the sails are mostly configured along the center line this way, as opposed to a square rig vessel where they would go like this on yard arms or thwartship. But as long as the sails go this way and the mast gets sequentially taller,
okay,
that would be a
schooner. Okay, that clarifies that.
This is Jane.
Hi.
What is your exact title?
Co-owner.
Okay. Co-owner of Stephen Tabor, Stephen Tabor and Ladona.
Correct.
And so you guys do all these really awesome historical Windjammer cruising trips.
Yes.
And we're on Ladona right now.
Yes.
She's gonna show us around, and I'm so excited to jump into history.
Okay, great. So you want to check out the cabins?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's start with the cabins. So when you come to visit on Ladona, you might be staying in one of these cabins.
We have 9 cabins total. 8 of them are doubles for 2 people and 1 single cabin. So we will, first I'll show you cabin number 1. And it has 2 twin beds and it's a V berth and it's a very popular cabin. This is probably the most requested cabin by our repeat guests.
Really?
Because it's 2 people who are separate and they can both sit up in bed. There's great light and air and windows that open and close.
Nice.
And then the single cabin
is number
cabin
2.
Number 2. It's really cozy for one person.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the cabins have this lovely vanity with the copper sinks, and we have hot and cold running water, which is really nice. And we have an outlet and USB ports. And then the other cabins with 2 twin beds. Here's cabin 4, and 6 and 3 are very similar. And this is your over/under. It still has the sink. We put little shelves here for people to store their gear. We redid this vessel from 2014 to 2016, and everything was redone. It was a 90% rebuild. Nice. So everything is 10 years or less. These 3, 5, 7, and 9 are the larger queens.
Oh.
So it's a queen. And it also has the vanity. It has storage under here. The same.
What's at the very end?
The bathroom. So there are 2. Everyone loves the bathroom. 2 heads in this area. One on this side and one on the other side. And they both have a shower. And it's tiled.
Nice change.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Yes.
And we can shower every day if we want it.
You can shower every day.
Don't put a water heater on board.
Going to go back. This is where your cabin is, cabin number 8. A little tighter. There is some space underneath there, and there are hooks. And there is the vanity with the charging and everything. And the only thing is that the plus of cabin 8 is you have this bathroom. Oh. And so this doesn't have a shower, but it's a lovely head. And then here's the galley.
Super accessible.
Hi, and here are some crew members.
Hi, crew members. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Caroline.
So this is the galley. This is where Anna works her magic, her stove, her refrigeration. The crew sleeps here behind these curtains.
Oh,
Wow. I was wondering where you guys slept.
I'm gonna put it